I love reading. You all know I love reading, otherwise I wouldn't have a booktube channel. But when I was in school, I really didn't enjoy English literature, and I think there's something wrong with that. Hi everybody, it's Lydia here. So I want to talk about the way we teach books in school, because for me I feel like we forget that books are there to be enjoyed. And I just want to say first off, I know a lot of this is down to the whole way schools are set up these days, and everything is so geared towards exams. But I do feel that English in particular has been impacted quite a lot by this, and we could be doing more to let people and to help people enjoy reading in English literature a whole lot more. One of the big issues I have with English literature is the way that we overanalyze books, and I don't feel like we give pupils enough time to enjoy them as books. And I feel like there should be more of an emphasis on encouraging pupils to read the books before they actually study them. And I know this is a problem because a lot of teachers say, oh, read this during the summer holidays or whatever, and a lot of kids don't do that. And I feel like one way we could encourage them more is perhaps to give schools free audio copies of books, which they could then send to students, and they could download them and listen to them at home, and that might encourage them to actually read the book more, or at least listen to the book. And I know from my personal point of view, I enjoyed the books a whole lot more when I had the time to just sit down and read them before I sat down in class and just analyse them to death. And I do think the whole way it's structured at the moment, with you read a chapter the week before you have to study it, it just breaks up the whole book. A lot of books, I feel sometimes it takes a while to get into them, and even if you're telling a student to read the 18th chapter in a book after you've read the first 17 chapters for previous weeks, I feel like because you've broken it up so much, they haven't really had the time to just properly get into the book and enjoy it. I also feel a lot of the time like the books chosen to study at school could be done in a different way. I'm talking here particularly about books which are selected for exams. It used to drive me crazy when I would get to an exam and I would sit down and get to the part where you would have to pick the question based on the book you'd studied, and I'd look at the other questions and think, damn, I would have loved to have studied that book and written a question on that. Maybe there should be a sort of emphasis on asking students which book out of those ones being ask questions on for the exam, which book they want to study, because I feel like kids might be more inclined to actually engage with that book if they have had that option. Obviously that is quite an idealistic view, and very often teachers have to decide quite far in advance what books they're going to study, and I know that is an issue, but I think there could be a workaround there somewhere. Maybe ask them before the summer holidays or something, that kind of thing, you know, really just finding ways to get kids more engaged with the books they're studying. And my final point, and this kind of goes back to enjoying the book before you overanalyze it, and that is to just discuss it. I feel like there's not enough just discussion about a book. One of the best English literature lessons I had in school was where we literally just spent a lesson talking about books that we loved and enjoyed, and then that went on to talking about books around the genre that we were studying, and so on and so forth, and it allowed us to just really get into proper discussions about these books. It's very idealistic, I do know that, but I do think there should be more just general discussion about the book, and not just about, what do you think this line there means? I certainly enjoyed books and plays a whole lot more when we looked at them as a whole first off before overanalyzing them, because that allowed me to really engage with the book. I do feel like we look into analysis too much, and we look at words that are used and think, oh, that word was clearly used because the author was depressed or had got divorced or whatever, and it does drive me a bit crazy because I think a lot of the time that's a load of BS, but there we go. But anyway, to finalise, because I'm basically talking about this like an essay now, I think we should allow kids to read the books and enjoy the books and discuss the books first before we overanalyze them, and there should be more encouragement towards reading the books if that involves audio copies or whatever. I do think there just needs to be more emphasis on enjoying the book first as a book and then going on to overanalyze it. Anyway, let me know in the comments below what you think about this, because I know some people really love the way it's done at the moment, and I know some people really hate the way it's done at the moment, so I'd be really interested to hear what your experiences were regarding this whole issue. Anyway, that's it for me today. I will see you again soon, but until then, bye!